Moi everyone, and welcome back to Finish Your Plate. Today I'm making macaroni casserole, which is an all-time favorite of both adults and children. There's a lot of recipes online. Some of them can get kind of fancy too with the method of cooking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a very simple one, but there's a couple of specific things when making it that you may want to watch out for just to get the right kind of results. Okay, so what I have here is, of course, I have just some beef. This is 85/15 beef. I have some macaroni here. Now, you can use whatever macaroni you want. However, I found out that this particular one has ridges in the macaroni itself, which I kind of like, and I think they remind me of a particular Finnish brand of macaroni. I'll show you what I mean. So here, if you look at it, you can see that the edge is not smooth with this macaroni. And I think that's what reminds me of a particular Finnish macaroni brand. Besides that, so I have here finely chopped onions. If you have children in the household who don't like onions, remember you could, besides chopping the onions very finely, you could use onion powder too. I think that would work just as well. I have 3 eggs here, about 3.5 cups of whole milk. Then I have here a cheese mixture. I made this cheese mixture by grating Munster cheese, Monterey Jack, and mozzarella together. I find that mozzarella really is not the best cheese to use for this dish. It works, but I don't think it gives that authentic taste. So that's why I kind of like to use a mixture rather than any one type of cheese. Plus then I have a couple of spices, white pepper, ground allspice, which is very important. And then I have here Penzeys chili con carne seasoning. This is not hot at all. It just has a little bit of a chili taste. Just going to add just a little pinch of it. And then of course we got a little bit of oil, salt. Okay, so let's get cooking. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil the macaroni. And while it's boiling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cooking the beef. I'm probably going to be doing it in 2 batches just to make sure that it really fries. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of oil into the pan. And I have here about a pound, just a little over 1.1 pounds of ground beef. So I'm going to just cook it in 2 batches. And let's salt it right away. So here's the first tip that I want to share when frying the ground beef is make sure you fry it well. It needs to have those crunchy bits. Those are the really tasty bits. It's not enough that you fry until it's just cooked. You need to fry it longer. Now I'm just going to add some onion. So this way that can start frying as well. Season it with some white pepper. Maybe a half a teaspoon, if that. Some ground allspice. Ground allspice is what really gives it that Finnish flavor. And then just a little bit of the chili con carne seasoning. Okay, now we'll just keep frying until the meat is brown and crispy, because that's where the flavor is going to be. While the meat is frying, I'm just going to crack the 3 eggs into the milk. And whisk them to break the yolk. I'm going to season the egg milk mixture too. About a teaspoon of salt, allspice, white pepper, and then we'll mix it again. Remember, the macaroni is cooking in the salted water too, so if you want to avoid salt, you can leave this part out. Alright, this is almost there. Okay, so our beef is pretty much done. So this is exactly what we want. These are the crunchy brown bits all over that are going to give so much nice flavor to it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in a bowl and then make the second batch. Same way as I made the first batch. Okay, so our second batch of beef is ready. I'm just going to pour it in here together with the macaroni. And mix it carefully. Now we're going to pour in the milk and egg. And then just shake it a little bit to even out. Use the spoon. Now here's the second trick. So I'm going to put this in the oven at about 300 degrees for an hour. Only after that I'm going to put the cheese on top. So there's a couple of reasons. First of all, when you cook it in a little bit lower temperature, 300 degrees, rather than say 350, the egg is going to come out smoother. It's not going to come out as scrambled with high temperatures. So by not adding the cheese at this point, we're going to avoid the cheese from burning. We're going to avoid the cheese from drying out. We're going to add it later on, and then we're going to cook it high until just the cheese gets a little bit of color. All right, so I'm going to put this in the oven now, 300 degrees, about an hour. Okay, so the macaroni casserole has been in the oven for an hour. Now I'm just going to sprinkle the cheese on top, and then I'm going to put it back in the oven, just blast it with some heat until the cheese melts and browns a little. So now this goes back in the hot oven. Okay, so the macaroni casserole is out of the oven. I'm just going to let it cool down for a little bit before serving it. Okay, so now I'm just going to serve it. And I believe that this is one dish where it is a crime to serve it without ketchup. So I'm just going to put some ketchup on top. And there we go. Finnish macaroni casserole, a classic everyday dish. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Finish Your Plate.